never to summon me again. Excalibur. Wait. Is it really you? You, who come from a time beyond. Show yourself before me.
It seems he speaks to me. Allow me to answer him.
Welcome, old friend.
I can see that you know me, but I am a mere shadow of my true self. I don't remember you, Lord of the Seas. Forgive me.
That's what you told me, my friend. The next time we see each other, you will not remember me. But you are here now. The will and the power led you back to this place. Even in this incomplete form.
Where should I look for myself? I wish to restore Avalon to its former glory, yet I don't know how.
Avalon's fate has never rested upon one person alone, not even one as great as King Arthur. Yet here you are, trying again, restless and eager to take the responsibility again. I salute you, my friend.
Tell me what I must do to be worthy to lead Avalon once more. I do not think I have the strength.
Your path is true. Seek wholeness, and Avalon will reveal what it needs from you. And yes, you need to touch Excalibur.
Thank you, my friend.
And you, mortal. You have given yourself to the king's service. You are worthy of a place among the keepers of the South. Arthur, take out your sword and fear no failure. It is yours to take. It always was. I deem you worthy, my friend. The promise I gave thy mother is fulfilled, and thus our pact is ended. You know where to look for your soul. Trust yourself, and when you reach your journey's end, I trust you will make the right choice.
am his will, the fire that bends the world to his command. I am the blade that shapes kings and shatters tyrants. He was the fire that forged order from chaos. He was the hand that lifted kingdoms, the will that carved a path through darkness.
Enough, Merlin. You can't keep throwing lives into this abyss. These experiments. They're destroying what remains of us.
Destroying us? They're what's keeping us alive. Do you think the Four Dwellers will stop for pity or mercy? Every soul we lose here saves 10 more on the battlefield. You told me to do this. You sanctioned this. And I'm close to getting it right. I know it.
No, we can't justify this. There's no victory worth such a cost.
You know full well, Arthur, that this isn't about victory. It's about survival. If we don't push these boundaries, there will be no future for your kingdom, for Avalon. You dream of peace, but without victory, there will be no peace to dream of. The path ahead is brutal, but if we relent now, we lose everything.
And yet we keep losing people and gaining nothing in return. We must change the path.
They volunteered for this.
They volunteered to save our kingdom, and you've gotten no closer to doing it. Their sacrifices cannot be in vain, Merlin. Find another way. Use your mind, your wisdom. Leave this slaughterhouse you've created behind.
A different way. That will take time, and resources we may not have. The enemy won't wait.
They will if I make them. Whatever it takes, I will buy you that time. Find me a weapon that wins this war without annihilating what we fight to protect.
Whatever it takes.
Yes. Let it be known that it was my decision, and I will bear the consequences of it.
Oh no, my king. People can never know. It was all my idea, and you knew nothing about it. All of us have our role to play. You are the leader, and they need to love you. If we win, you need to become more than a man. You need to become a symbol.
Now, I remember. Before you judge me, it all seems so obvious now, doesn't it? The right thing to do. It wasn't back then, and you can trust me on that. We were on the brink of losing the war, and wars aren't won with wishful thinking. There was no clean path, no noble answer. only the weight of reality pressing down on our necks. Something had to be done, or everything we fought for would have been in vain. And in the end, the ones who stepped forward, who chose to pay the price, made it possible. And their deaths gave Merlin the knowledge he needed to finish his work. To find something that could really turn the tide in our favor. Justified? No. Justification is for those who have the luxury of doubt. And I had a kingdom to save. They were brave men who volunteered their lives, just as they did every time we rode onto the battlefield. The difference was that if Merlin succeeded, one man's sacrifice could have saved us all, could have ended the war before more blood was spilled. If sacrificing a few meant the survival of all, then there was no choice at all. Maybe they never saw justice. Maybe their real stories were erased from history. Call it cruelty. Call it madness. But if I'd done nothing, there would be no Avalon left to argue over. But the kingdom still stands. The people live. And that has to mean something. I did. But this wasn't about pride. It wasn't about saving face. It was about survival. The truth about all this would have broken my people. I couldn't allow that. And a king doesn't get to flinch. If that meant carrying the weight alone, so be it. I would make that choice again if I had to. I told him to stop the experiments on our men, but to keep going. And he did. He started experimenting on the Four Dwellers, the enemy. If their bodies could be broken down, their power turned against them, wasn't that their own doing? Wasn't that fair? So he figured out how to twist the Four Dwellers' power into something we could wield. I told him to conquer the weirdness. And in the end, he did. He found a way to make me stronger. Stronger than any man had the right to be. It wasn't just magic. It was something deeper, older. A force that reshaped me. And with it, we won. The war ended. Avalon was ours. The bloodshed stopped. The banners were raised. And the kingdom stood safe. That's the question, isn't it? I keep thinking about Seawall. He was ready to pay the ultimate price for what we were fighting for. And I thought he did. I grieved him. Told myself his sacrifice had meaning, that he had given his life for Avalon. And now, after all these years, finding him like this, I told myself I carried the weight of my choices. But seeing him, I wonder if I ever truly did.
got that look again, like you've seen something you wish you hadn't. Another piece of the king's soul reclaimed, right? What did it show you this time? Merlin. Ah, Merlin and his obsession with the weirdness. The king thought it could save us. Merlin thought it could be controlled. Together, they were willing to tear the world apart to win. I was a prototype for Merlin's latest idea, immortality. Me and Seawall, the king's loyal pawns. Used and discarded when they found a better way. When they decided to go even deeper into their madness and turn our king into a monster. Fight back. Against who? Merlin? The king? You don't fight gods when you're just a pawn on their board. You endure. You wait. And when the time comes, you either break, or you're left to clean up their mess. That's what I do. What I've always done. Even if he didn't, he should have. He was desperate to win. And desperation doesn't leave room for conscience. Every scream, every scar, even if he didn't see it, he allowed it. That's as good as approving it. Seawall was Merlin's first attempt. I was the last. We could say I was lucky, but to say that would take a truly macabre sense of humor, don't you think? The monsters, the weirdness, the chaos, all of it leads back to them. We're left in the ruins of their grand plans, trying to uphold their ideals, fighting for what never was. It's time to bury all these fairy tales in a well-deserved grave. And that's what I do. Of course he'd say that. There's always a scapegoat and a convenient excuse for men like him. But it doesn't absolve him. Not when he was the one who unleashed this madness on all of us. He wanted victory, no matter the cost. And when you want something that badly, you stop looking too closely at what's being done in your name. And, after all, who said we were supposed to win this war? Who said we were supposed to survive? You've seen what they did, what he did. And that's not the end of the story. It's not the extent of their sins. Find the pieces of his soul. Put him back together, if that's what it takes. And then we, or I alone, if you decide to defy me, can end the cycle. Either way, we will get to his resurrection. I've seen it too many times to believe the cycle will be broken before it happens. But know this, once he's whole, Arthur's power, his mistakes, and his madness will all return. And when that moment comes, I'll be there. Whether to stand with you, or step over you. The choice is yours. Just remember that when that happens, and you stand by his side, there won't be room for both of you. Start. You've already started. But if you want the next piece, head to Kунахт. The menhir there is failing, the weirdness swallowing what's left of the village. You will need to find another artifact. The shield our king gave to Palamedes. He was one of the king's finest, a voice of reason amidst the madness. But it didn't save him or his legacy from what they had coming. Find the shield, and then, well, we will meet again. We'll see if your perspective changes.
Sly bastard. No one else could have pulled off something like that. You won't hear me complaining, that's for sure. Brandon finally broke the decades-old crust that had grown over this place. Nothing thrives in stagnation, least of all trade. Now, this place might finally get a bit livelier. Personally, I can't wait to see where this goes.
It was supposed to be a reminder. The sword was never just steel. It was a symbol of what we stood for. Strength, justice, the will to carve a path forward. A weapon, yes, but also a promise. I wanted them to remember, to fight for those ideals, to uphold them, even when I was gone. Even when there was no king left to lead them. Yes, it seems we knew each other well during the war. And this proves that I sought allies beyond our own forces. And I trusted him enough to carry the knowledge of Excalibur. This must count for something.
Who's there? What do you want? We're just sitting here, not bothering anybody, so there's no need to bother us. Vran? Ha! I've been wondering how that old harpy's doing. We haven't seen each other in a while. You can go. If you know our sister's name, that means you survived meeting her. That's enough for me to let you pass by. And? How do you like it here? Working hard. We're gathering people. But we don't need anything from you. You've got some guts. Walking right up to a pair of Dalrita without even flinching. Well, well.
Impressive, indeed.
We're Dalrita. We make sure that the Camelot scum infesting Kунахт don't even dare to think about heading south. Imagine, a Camelotian who's also a deserter. Unbelievable. Even Grindylows have their honor, unlike those scum. And catching a deserter? Now that's a real treat. We do what any honorable warrior would do with deserters. We help Camelot get rid of their cowards. You could say those vermin owe us a debt. Thanks to us, they're well fed, and Denham pays us handsomely. A Camelot legate. He commands the rabble you see swarming in Kунахт. He's decent enough, and he pays a good price for deserters' scalps. Aye, there are. We've been here for 2 years now, and they're multiplying like vermin.
It all seemed innocent at first. They were just supposed to help the local lord mine resources.
Ha, sure. And those nitwicks from Kунахт fell for it like naive children. So when the troops arrived, they were caught completely off guard. The Red Priests came along with the troops, and then, out of nowhere, the Red Death resurfaced. Even now, as the Camelotians aim to take the Menhir, the village is torn. Some want to go to Camelot, others want to stay. It's a complete mess in there, Mathair help me.
She won't. The goddess doesn't like people like us.
Shut your mouth. You're flapping your gums like a wench in a brothel. Anything else? Or will you be on your way? Good hunting.
can say that. Someone comes, lights the Menhir, and then dies on all watch? People would be at my door with pitchforks.
He's waking up. Welcome back to the land of the living, our hero.
Help him up, Ansem. Welcome to my home. Quite a scene unfolded at the Menhir, with you at the heart of it. I can't decide if I'm more delighted or surprised. What was it that made the Menhir react to you? I see. You have a habit of not taking things seriously, don't you? But this is no trivial matter, so I demand respect. Come now, you must have a theory. The local Menhir here have been rather lifeless for quite some time. Then you come along, breathe life into what was dead, and, whether you meant to or not, alter the course of our history. That's how I see it anyway. Tell me, do you know what this Menhir represents? So they say. The Menhirs were raised by Merlin to ward off the ancient mists that burst monsters beyond human comprehension. But none of this matters in our current situation. Here, the Menhir represents something more. For some, it's a symbol of freedom and independence. Strength, if you will. It shows that the people of Kунахт, my subjects, can face any challenge, even at the world's end. And for others, like our guest from Camelot, whom I'm sure you've seen, it's a symbol of power. Power once granted by King Arthur, and therefore by Camelot. And power that has been granted can be taken away. Officially, they say they want to gather all the Menhir scattered across Avalon, set them around Camelot, and bring people there to ensure their safety. That is, if they can figure out how to restore the power of the Menhirs. I don't think we know each other well enough to speak on unofficial terms. I'm well aware, and now we're also facing an outbreak of the Red Death, which will no doubt influence Camelot's decision on whether to offer my people shelter. But with the Menhir reignited, the people of Kунахт will be even less willing to give up and go to Camelot. If anything, I expect rebellion to break out, and bloodshed is something neither we nor the capital want. I don't know, to be honest. It's not something I could admit publicly, but I feel both sides have a point. I understand the people who don't want to abandon their homeland, and I understand the knights who must face a long-lost terror and find a solution to an impossible problem. Believe me, being a lord in times like these is a heavy burden. I want you to speak with Dinho and try to calm him down. He's the commander of Camelot's forces stationed in Kунахт, and as you probably imagine, your presence here didn't exactly make his job easier. With the Menhir active again, everything could change. Calamity Shield, you say? An unusual request. That shield rests beneath the Menhir. And legend has it that it used to fuel its power for centuries. I don't mind if you look at it, touch it, whatever you need. Just don't take it. It's a treasured relic, and the people of Kунахт are quite attached to it. And you're probably just as attached to your head, which you'll lose if we catch you trying to steal the shield. If you need anything, speak to Ansem. He's the one who decides what's worth my time.
stay quiet, stay safe. Ah, a new face. I am Anselm, Major Domo to Lord Yvain. Any business to be done in Kунахт usually passes through my hands first. From managing the court's affairs to ensuring Kунахт doesn't collapse under its own weight, it's my duty to keep things running smoothly. Not an easy task, given the times. And you? What brings you here? Wandering so close to the heart of Kunacht's business. You don't strike me as the idle type. Life at court is a delicate dance. It's calm on the surface, but underneath, there's always tension. Managing affairs, settling disputes, keeping the wheels turning. It's not for the faint of heart. Lord Yvain means well, but he makes decisions slowly, too slowly sometimes. Not that I complain. It's a role I've accepted, and one I'll carry out for as long as I'm needed. It's a quiet kind of chaos, but one we must master, for the sake of Kунахт and those who call it home. Challenging doesn't begin to describe it. The court is the heart of Kунахт, and if it falters, the rest follows. That's a heavy weight to bear. But if I'm honest, it's the plague that keeps me awake at night. I've seen what it does, how it spreads, how it steals lives without mercy. I lost my family to it. The only reason I'm still here is because I was locked away at court while they were quarantined. Since then, protecting this place, keeping it safe, has been more than a duty. It's been everything. Go on then. There's always more work to be done.
Oi, you there, Sleeping Beauty. I saw them carrying you into Yvain's mansion. You feeling better now? Good. Would have been a shame if something happened to the one who lit up the menhir. No wonder they brought you straight here. Tell me, did you get to see our lord? Or just that snake of his, Anselm? Sorry, stranger. I meant no offense. Name's Morag. I'm the innkeeper around here, though, as you've probably seen, there's not much of an inn left to keep. Truth is, I was hoping that, with what happened at the menhir and all, you might have Lord Yvain's ear. Maybe you'd be kind enough to whisper a thing or two into it on my behalf? Because he doesn't bother listening to us common folk, even when our livelihoods are at stake. If we're lucky, we get to air our grievances to Anselm, but wait for the Lord's decision is always his answer. How long can we wait? We're not some lazy nobles. We don't just get to put our lives on hold. We've got to eat, damn it. And unlike him, we have to work for our meals. Camelot shut down my inn. Said it was because of the Red Death, but the Red Priests have been here for ages, and they never had a problem with my place. And last I checked, Yvain's still our lord. Not one of those Camelocians. What gives them the right to meddle in our business? I know. I was here when the outbreak hit. Lost some of my best patrons. But the Red Priests have it under control now. Every new case gets carted straight to the asylum, and we haven't had one in a good while. I tried talking to the Camelocians. They told me to piss off. Now Yvain's my only hope. I thank you, stranger. All I want is a straight answer. The least he could do is make Camelot pay me some kind of compensation. Damn bastards come in here acting like they own all of Kунахт. I'll wait here for you.
This is my shield, but there's no part of my soul inside. We need to look somewhere else. But I can feel the missing part. Close. Maybe it's the men here. Maybe it needs something from us.
Have some spare food?
There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. And there will never be anything. Look around you. Everything you see doesn't exist. We're not here. And the real Lord, the four-armed king, is lost forever. It's just greedy, deceitful lords everywhere. False kings. There is no king. Sagramor wanted too much. And vain. He doesn't even know what he wants. Nothing. There's just nothing. I've seen his cursed kingdom. I've seen it haunt my endless nightmares. A kingdom now forgotten by all. An aberration that should never have existed. I saw it. He made them kneel and cry his name. Sagramor! 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 Present but absent. Always absent. Always uncertain. Kунахт is doomed, as is Yvain's entire bloodline. Gold. Ah, yes. Gold. The true nothingness.
Oi, you. You're new here, aren't you? I don't think I've seen you around before. Ah, no, sorry. It's just that we don't see many new faces around here. Just us and the locals and, well, if you haven't noticed yet, they're not the friendliest bunch. Do they? Then maybe we're all just sick of looking at each other. I'm sure they're not all bad. This must all be quite hard for them. But it's not like I want to be here either. I've got a pregnant wife waiting for me at home, and they won't even let me buy a book for her. Yeah, about birthing and labour and whatnot. It's going to be our first, you see, so my wife's always sick. I wanted to send it to her, to ease her mind, you know?
But that Dalrita wench chased me out of her bookshop and won't let me back in. I know, right? And here I thought I'd seen everything. I was sure they didn't even know how to read. Anyway, Vrel seems to hate my guts. Ugh, because she hates Camelosians. Why else? I mean, I know the folks ain't exactly happy about us being here, but Vrel? She's Dalrita. They're taught to hate us from birth. That's all there is to it. Well, could you? I'd be really grateful. Just don't tell her it's for me. She won't sell it to you otherwise. Please, I'll pay you back. I'll even throw in something extra. Please, for my wife. Oh, thank you. You're a lifesaver.
Haven't seen your face around here before. A visitor, eh? Try to stay out of trouble. I'd rather not have to put your name on the bounty board. No, that'd be Sheena. I keep this camp running and make sure everyone's pulling their weight. Idle hands have no place in Camelot's army, especially not on a mission like this. Trouble is, we've got more work than men. So if you're looking to earn some coin, check the notice board. I've posted a few bounties. I can't spare any soldiers to deal with things outside of Kунахт, but I'll be damned if I let those bandit scum run loose. I handle what makes soldiers fight. Sheena handles what keeps them comfortable. You want glory and gold? See me. You want a softer pillow or a warm meal? That's Sheena's domain. Legate Denham is in charge here. Sometimes I wonder if he upset someone higher up to get sent on this mission, because this place, it's a damn mess. Lord Yvain's acting like a maiden on her wedding night, the Red Priests are throwing their weight around, and the locals are ignoring the fact that they're all about to be swallowed by the weirdness. I have no idea how the legate puts up with it all. But, well, at least he's got me to make sure his orders are carried out. I'm Immunis Askell. If you're here for war stories, forget it. I've no time to entertain idle curiosity. Most of the fighting's behind me now. I've traded my sword for paperwork. Not glamorous, but necessary. Once we're done here, maybe I'll finally retire. Then I'll have all the time in the world to spin tales for nosy brats like you.
I'll await your return.
Ah, here's our troublemaker. You've really caused a stir around here with that spectacle in front of the Menhir. I had everything in order. The cart was ready, and people were all set to move to Camelot. But now, you appear out of nowhere, and suddenly a dying pile of stones lights up like a bonfire. That's bad. That's very bad. Firstly, because now I have to write yet another report to Camelot that we're going to be late, and that they need to send us even more supplies. Secondly, you've somehow reignited the Menhir, and this has reignited people's hopes that they can stay. And that's dangerous. And before you ask why it's dangerous, take a look around town. The recent Red Death outbreak took its toll, and I'm pretty sure things are just going to get worse and worse. But you should be thankful to them. Their hopes are the only reason we haven't locked you up for sabotaging our initiative. That's the assumption I decided to go with.
And that's why we're talking. Perhaps there's still a chance to sort out this mess. You can go tell Murig that your presence doesn't change anything about our deal, and that you are unwilling to help with his endeavors, whatever they may be. And if he doesn't listen, play along, but come back to me when you learn what he has planned. Isn't it obvious? For the safety of all the residents of Avalon. Only by gathering the Meniers in one place and reigniting them will we be able to keep ourselves safe from the weirdness. Avalon's population has significantly declined over recent years. We're on the brink of extinction, damn it. That's why we need to stick together, to take care of each other. Only Camelot possesses the necessary infrastructure to establish the right conditions for its people. If they remain here, they will die, either from the weirdness itself or from the horde of monsters it spawns. And there aren't enough soldiers here for their protection. You must know that I didn't come here just to obey orders. I truly believe that this is the only way to save everyone on Avalon. Then at the very least, we'll have bought some time for those wiser than us to think of an alternative solution. Perhaps we will invade Tuathan, like in the glorious old days. Or perhaps someone will find a way to free the derelict fleet, allowing us return to the homelands. I don't know. But there's one thing I'm certain of, and I'll repeat it as often as necessary. Only by standing together can we overcome the weirdness. Scattering our people across the island is the worst solution, and it's a sure path to our ruin. Murig, who apparently prefers to be called Maggot, is a druid, even though he may not look the part. And druids are the only ones who know the rituals necessary to ignite the Meniers. Due to bad luck, or more accurately, the decisions of my superiors, our options for druids are limited. That's why I'm forced to work with Murig, and prophet be my witness, neither of us is happy about that. But I'm no fool. I know that what happened in front of the Menhir might make Murig consider double-crossing us. He'll try to find a way to reignite the Menhir so that it could stay in Kунахт despite our agreement. So, if you ever find out what he's planning, if he ever asks you to fetch something for his ritual, you make sure you come to me first. Who told you that? The Dalriata? I've never paid a single gold coin to any Dalriata for deserters. Not even once in my life. However, there is some truth to what you've heard. You see, it's hard to keep the men's morale up in these uncertain times. It's really no wonder that every once in a while, some of them try to desert. Still, this is the military. Desertion is unacceptable and will always be punishable by death. Camelot especially insists on nipping that problem in the bud. So if you do take care of the deserters, you can be sure you'll be rewarded. Asgard will pay out bounties for each and every scalp you manage to bring him. Anything else? Me? There's not much I can do right now. I have to stay in Kунахт with my men until we get the locals to consider moving to Camelot. But if someone were willing to handle them in whatever way they saw fit, as long as they stop being a threat to my men and the people here, they'd have my thanks. But all this should stay between us and on the down low. Excellent. If you need anything, you know where to find me. I'll await your return.
So, you finally arrived. Or is it the two of you? It's a pleasure to meet you. Call me Maggot. I don't like that other name Denholm and his men insist on using. I don't know, and that bothers me a lot. But I sense something lurking inside you. Something quite terrifying, I must say. All I'm sure of is that you've been exposed to vast quantities of the weirdness and survived. And that's rare. Let's say I have certain skills when it comes to magic. Yes, the Mynheer. It responded to your presence. It reacted to you. And that's unusual. It means big changes are coming to our small Kунахт. Do you know why all those Camelot troops are here? That's right. Unfortunately, they believe that by gathering all the dying Mynheers and placing them around Camelot, they'll stand a fighting chance against the oncoming weirdness. But they don't know, or they don't want people to know, that a Mynheer is nothing but a piece of rock, unless it has been ignited by a special ritual. And if they were ignited once, they can be rekindled again. You see where I'm going with this? No, I want you to prevent Camelot from taking the Mynheer. I'm too old to play a hero, but I can help you become one, if you care about things like that. And I, for once, would like to stand on the right side of history. That's the problem, you see. I don't have one. The moment the Mynheer reacted to you, I felt something. As if a piece of my brain was trying to tell me something, but I couldn't quite reach it. I suddenly remembered about the Mynheer rites, the ritual I told you about, and that there were 2 scrolls that contained it. But where are they? How do I even know that? That's lost on me. So, it looks like we'd have to take a little trip into the recesses of my memory, literally. Well, not literally. As entertaining as that sounds, you won't be dissecting me. I'm talking about a journey into the subconscious, not an anatomy lesson. Just a bit of mushroom potion and poof, you're on your way. Safest option we've got, relatively speaking. Do you think I want somebody wandering around in my brain, looking for memories I decided to bury? Of course. Either way, we'd have to prepare a proper potion. So if you're used to thinking while on a walk, then grab these along the way. In case you want to go along with my idea, of course.
Show yourself! Blow for blow! You are nothing but a peasant! I'll get you back tenfold! You are nothing but a peasant! I'm invincible! My arm has never failed me. peace. Tis just flesh. You are nothing but a peasant. Your arm won't save you. Blow for blow. No match for me. Here's but a scratch. Here's just a flesh wound. Here's but a scratch.
Vigilant.
Save you. Here's but a scratch.
Oh, greeting. Right, so, would you perchance be interested? Right, of course. Silly me. You'll have... Me? Of course I'm human. And holes in the walls. I'm not sure what they're supposed to... Anyway, where... I'm really not, am I? Most people either curse at me or run away. I don't... And then there are those who accuse me of trying to trick them. I'm glad you asked. My name is O'Cunnin Cinnamon Say. Feel free to take a look at my wares.
Good, great, actually. I even had a customer, and they do cost quite... Oh, you see, I stole them from a grove that belongs to one. None that I know of. They're just mushrooms. I mean, I'm not saying they are... I don't think so. Well, no. The customer asked me what... And that I gathered them under the cover of night at a place. I can't see why. I did not say a word. See? This is the problem with you humans. You always... Me? No. I'm pretty sure they already have merchants there. Or maybe that's foxes? I'm not sure. Anyway. Yes, in that cave over there. It's very cozy. I didn't even have to fight a bear to move in. There were a few dead humans, but I put them in a neat pile in the corner. Ah, you're probably right. But besides, I decorated it myself. Ah, that's lovely. If you need a nap, feel free or not. What do I know, really?
I'd just be grateful if you didn't try to sell me any weapons. Or nails. Or buckets with iron handles. It's not that I have anything against things made of iron. I simply don't condone violence, that's it. Done already?
Oi, what do you think you're doing here? I don't need to explain anything. Move along, but